What's up, everybody? Disco Demonic Hydrophonic. Would anybody like to learn how to do a spell with Santa Muerte today? All right, cool, cool. So I'm gonna do a prosperity money spell today. This is actually for a client, and I got a lot of stuff going on. So here we go, get started. So I'm gonna do some similar things as I did the last time, with some purification, like consecrating kind of thing, with the items. And this is going to be to remove, so I have 3 candles, these two, and then this one right here, right? So these two are just gonna, they're yellow. And now you want to use gold if you can get gold. I got yellow because I was at the Botanica, and that's what they had. They didn't have any gold, but mentally I can like substitute gold in my mind, and so this is, I'll just make it gold. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with this candle. So this candle is actually made to remove any obstacles, and that way it's easier to draw in wealth and prosperity. And then I got some oils and stuff like that. So first that's what I'm gonna do right now, is I'm going to do all this first. So okay, first I have the cemetery water from before. Now I have some charging at the cemetery now. So this is the one I've been using. Doesn't take a lot. This was in the cemetery charging for a very long time. Agua de Florida, just like the last time. Helps that soak in. That was a surprise to me the last time. That was pretty cool. This bandana, and then you have some Santa Muerte Oro Fortuna. This is it's called a Legítima Loción, like a lotion, but it's a liquid. You know what I'm saying? So it does have a smell to it. So you add that right there too. And you don't want to add a lot. This is just for the candles, all right? So you don't need a lot of this stuff. And then I always put down a paper towel to kind of soak it up when I'm done. So with here, and as you're doing this, I'm gonna do it as in like you didn't see the last video, but you wipe it down, and as you're wiping it down, you can do this 2 ways. You can either draw the energy out in your mind, or you can see it as the stuff that you're putting on there, as it evaporates, it removes the energy. Now the energy that you're removing is the energy, like let's say when it was transported, all the people who touched it when they were loading it, unloading it, they had emotions, you know, all that. They put a bunch of energy into these things, these items, this glass, this paper, all this kind of stuff. Their energy went into it, right? So you want to remove all that. So this is purely going to be the energy that you want to work with. So that's what this does. You're taking this out, and you're just, you know, you're, like I said, you can envision it drawing out the energy, and or you can have it to where it's evaporating and envisioning all that energy. You can even give it a color, like let's say brown, like it's old or whatever, like, you know, kind of like shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Any kind of color you want to, and just envision it like going away to where this candle is just like an empty vessel now for you to fill up with the energy that you want. And you can do the same. You're going to do the same thing with this. Clean these off, and this is the same thing you're doing. You can either envision it by drawing out the energy. If you want to use your left hand, that's fine. This is my left hand. So it's pulling out the energy, since, you know, some people see it that the left hand pulls out, and then, you know, the right hand projects, the left hand draws in. Being a energy worker and a practitioner, I can see the energy going. You can push and pull energy from either hand, in my opinion. So I don't really stick to that, but if you do, that's cool. You do that same thing with the other one. And again, you're removing all the energy that was in there already. And that's just, you know, you're pulling it all out, and or you see it evaporating. And so that operation part of it is finished. Alright, so we have this right here, right here. That's the first step. Now, what you're going to do with the candles, now I have my gold Santa Muerte here. As I have explained before, back in the day, money wasn't green. You know, the way they represented money was just, I'm just wiping this off. It's been a little while since I've done that, so I want to keep her clean, keep her happy. But money wasn't green. You know, that's kind of a recent thing, and it's kind of ya está preparada aquí abajo. So it was gold. Like gold was the main like standard. So gold and silver and metals and precious metals and things like that. So that's why you want to go with that green. And Santa Muerte magic is related to legal matters. I think the military as well, and some other stuff like law enforcement and shit like that. So uh, if you want to, you know, whatever, you know, that's all that shit. From there, so with these candles, they're probably pretty dry right now. So what I do, this is what I do. I got these little spice bowls. Got them from like Walmart. I've used them several times. So what I do is I get this fucking crack lighter right here. It's like a torch lighter, and I melt the bottom of this, create like a little layer on the bottom, and then I press this into that, so that's gonna hold it, right? And the reason I do that is because I'm gonna put some herbs and shit in there to to add to the magic, right? Okay, so, but I'm just kind of showing you right now what I'm doing, because like what I do is normally I charge them with energy. So I'm going to actually charge this with some energy at some point. So I'm just kind of going through the steps with you right now. So I'm not actually going to make it all together, but this is how I do it. The little thing right here, and you can use whatever. It doesn't have to be just this. You can use a coaster or whatever, you know, just kind of put that together. That's cool. And so I'm going to use 3 different herbs. And I got my fucking molcajete, or whatever the fuck it's called in English. And I'm going to use some chamomile. And chamomile is for luck. I'm going to use some patchouli, which is to draw in money in general. And like, I got my patchouli from this place called Ancient Mysteries in Austin, Texas. And actually it's really cool because they actually have that, everything that is for. It's an earth element, the powers it has, it draws in money, fertility, lust, blah, 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 magical use, use in money, prosperity, mixtures and spells. So it tells you, like, that's pretty cool if you need to know all that. And then I have some cinnamon for prosperity, right? So I'm going to put all this together. And I actually use the tea bags because you only need a little bit. And so I just go ahead and throw it in. It's already pretty much smashed up. And then what I'll do is I'll get the patchouli, chop it up, crush that, and throw the cinnamon in there, and then just, you know, mix all that shit up. I'm not going to do it now because as I'm doing it, I'm going to say a personal mantra or whatever I channel from Santa Muerte. In order to do that, you can say a prayer. It can be any kind of prayer. You can even make some shit up, or you can just talk. Normally what I do is I'll just kind of like ask. If I do channel something, I'll use that, but if I don't, I'll just talk to Santa Muerte and ask her to help me in the operation that I'm doing. So help me, like, you know, seeing how this is for a client, I'll say, aid me, aid this man in order to blah, 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 or this woman to blah, blah, blah. You know, I won't say this client, I'll be more personalized, and I maybe even say their name, and help to draw money, remove obstacles and stuff like that while I'm mixing it and charging and putting energy into it. And you can go as far as you want to with that. You can either just say that, or as you're saying that, just talking to Santa Muerte, you can actually envision yourself projecting the energy from like your Lao Gong point through this, almost like a wand kind of thing, into the magic. So you're actually drawing, you know, channeling energy from whatever. You can channel energy from planets, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Jupiter, Venus, and the Earth planets. So I'm going to draw and I'm going to channel energy from those planets into this, and so that's what I'm going to do. Now, Venus is related to love, but it's also related to prosperity, and like it draws in, you know, for wealth and, you know, good fortune and all that kind of shit. So it's not just love. And Jupiter has its properties. Now, see, the thing is, when you go online, you're gonna find a bunch of different information. And the reason I explain some of this stuff, I don't go into like a super amount of depth, is because magic is the journey is a huge part of the magic. So like whatever resonates with you may be different than what resonates with me. So I'm kind of telling you, and then as you go out there and find the shit yourself, whatever you like, whatever you're drawn to, whatever your guides or whatever tell you to do, that you would work with the best based on whatever factors, is what you should do. You know what I'm saying? So like just that's the best way to do magic. You always want to do like your own magic. You want to learn systems, but then incorporate your own kind of shit. And this is my personal opinion. Incorporate your own kind of beliefs and everything into it. What works for you, what you intuit. So that way it makes it more powerful, it makes it more personal, and it's going to be more potent. So yeah, so okay, so I have that, and then I'm going to put patchouli and the cinnamon later. I'm going to crush it all up and do the blah, blah, blah. And let me see, what else? Also, I do have a sigil that I use, the Gematria sigil, and I have some Gematria that I'm going to throw in there as well. I'm going to put that on a piece of paper, and then I'm going to ask something more. There's like some sigil she wants to give me in order to make this operation more powerful. I'll leave that up to her. And then I'm also going to give an offering. And the offering in this case is going to be money, because it's for money, and because that's what she asked me for when I initially asked her about this. So, yeah, and then I have some incense here, some Santa Muerte incense. You can have, they have different ones specified for different things. I like just to use the incense and then put my own whatever it is, you know. I don't want to be restricted to just whatever, but I will use them sometimes, like to draw in customers or whatever. I'll do that as well. So let me see and make sure that's everything, man. Yeah, then after that, you just do your ritual. I mean, you should have a basic ritual structure by now. If not, you can go on and develop one, like however you do it. I do not pray as in the Catholic sense. And again, stick to Santa Muerte. Don't call her a bunch of different names the way, you know, she's related to this, she's aspects of this and this and that. Just call her Santa Muerte whenever you're working with Santa Muerte. It's the best way to work, in my opinion. That way there's no confusion, you know, just Santa Muerte. And then put her at your altar and let the candle burn. Now, say when you're letting the candles burn, these are going to burn pretty quick, you know. Also, this helps keep this safe to where it's not going to spill over everywhere, you know. And if you don't feel comfortable, you can even actually put like some wax at the very bottom to create like a thin layer of wax on the bottom, or a thick layer of wax on the bottom to kind of, if you feel like that's more sturdy, you can do that as well. But you want to be around while these are burning at least, okay? And when you have this burning, let's say if you have to go to work or something, it's always best to let them burn all the way through. But I mean, unless you're a hermit. But with this COVID thing, I guess, you know, maybe you're kind of hanging out more at the house. I don't know what's going on wherever you're at. But you want to let it burn all the way. If you cannot, if you need to go out, if you have to go out to do something, put it out and then go somewhere, do what you got to do. When you come back, turn it back on. Santa Muerte will understand. She knows you don't want to burn your fucking house down. She's not going to trip about that shit. So, all right, man. Everybody, thanks for watching. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, if you like this video, share with your friends. If you hate it, share with your enemies. Have a good day or evening or whatever.